G'day, I'm sitting here talking to an old friend Pete Squires here at Old Tailem Town, South Australia. And he's a remarkable man. He should be Australian of the Year really, because he's kept a lot of the Australiana of our past and put it on. How many acres you got here?
We've got 210, but I suppose the village covers about 20 acres.
20 acres of village here, and he's saved everything from railway stations, churches, post offices, garage, you name it. If it's a butcher shop, he's got one. A cinema, he's got one. What else you got here?
Oh, we've got plenty of others, but it's nice to be told you're smart, but that's happened over 32 years, so it's just an everyday job. It's not fantastic, it's just that one man's work is in one spot, and it's a great advantage to have all your work in one spot, and you can see what you've done over 32 years. I think there's 114 buildings and 14 streets, and it just covers pretty well from about 1862 to 1962. All places have different eras in. Your mum and dad got married in 1940s and they got 1940s furniture. Your grandparents have got 1920s furniture. You got 1970s furniture, and your kids have got 1990s furniture. So every town covers all different sorts of eras.
And you got buildings here from all over South Australia?
Well, 50% of them would come from Victoria.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Their
great.
school come from Victoria. The church there came from Victoria. The dentist and barber and butcher and chemist just down there, they came from Victoria.
Yeah.
And from Adelaide and from Murray Bridge,
Yeah.
from Finnis, from Bordertown, from Wolseley and Mount Gambier,
Wonderful.
Covey Bowline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We brought a church group down here. We had a memorial service in the Wolseley Methodist Church. And
I
we had a
remember that day.
Yeah.
Now, what was the old priest that came? Keller, wasn't it?
Might have been White, was it? I forget who the old priest was. Might have been.
And he preached in that
the old chapel.
a couple of times before in his early life.
Oh, look, isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah, a wonderful place for people to come to get a little touch of nostalgia, a bit of history. I guess you have school groups here, do you?
Oh, we had 60 schools here last year.
60 schools. Wow, that's wonderful.
I give them a class. I put them through what we used to do when we were going to school. We address the flag and have an assembly and sing God Save the Queen, and I love my country Australia, I salute the flag of Australia.
Wonderful.
Honour the Queen, and I promise to obey her laws, type of thing, and then we sing God Save the Queen. And then we get into school and I tell them what they used to write on with slate boards and slate pencils, and then the old school bags and pen and ink, and then show them what the cane was for, and
whack.
It goes down well, and it goes down well with the oldies too.
Yeah, you get seniors groups?
Yeah, I get the seniors, take them to school and make them check their hands and shoes, and we forgot we used to have to do that, and all this type of thing.
They would love it.
Extremely rewarding.
Yeah.
That dog, they've been looking for him. My grandson was just down there in the car. That's the one they were looking for.
Oh, dear.
He had a snake before, and they were scared he got snake bitten.
Oh, he's all right now.
He's off home. He's a bugger of a dog.
Oh, he's heading in the right direction.
So,
it's a great place.
That's the story of my life. I meet people every day, and like yourself, you come along and haven't seen you for 20 years.
That's right.
And you've made my afternoon.
Well, you were building that thatched cottage when I came here. That's about 10 or 15
Oh, yeah,
years ago.
well, that would be, yeah.
Yeah, and you didn't have the thatch on it, but you were getting the framework up.
Yeah, well, you have a lot of resistance from people when you're doing something like that. I remember the bloke came with a post hole digger, and I said, well, we'll have a street here, and I'll put rocks on top of rocks where I want a hole dug. So I said, we'll have a house here, and then we'll have a house there, and we'll have one here, and we'll have one up there. And he said, tell you the truth, he said, I thought you were off your bloody head. And he said, now look, there's a bloody street here and houses. And I said, well, you know, I said there was going to be a street and houses. And he said, I thought you were off your head, and I thought it'd never happen. And that was about 3 years after he dug the holes.
Well, another old mate of mine, Eric Jenner, told me he was the guy that used to do the steel frames behind my miniature houses.
Yeah.
He welded them all up for me. And he says, what the mind can conceive, the hands can achieve.
Well, you know, when you're doing, you've been through it.
Yeah.
When you're doing something like this, people sort of think you're off your head, and you've got to jump those hurdles.
Yeah.
It's a hurdle that you've got to ignore, and you've got to believe in yourself and know what the end job's going to look like.
Absolutely.
And when it's all finished, you've won the argument.
That's right. Well, you know you can achieve it. You set out to achieve it. You visualise it in your head. You're a great man of vision, and then you go and apply what you've been thinking, and you put it there. You create it.
That's something that is you might get a bit of pencil and paper and you draw out in your mind what the building's going to look like. Well, that building there, for instance, it's a copy of the first house in Harndorf, and it was built
slats on it.
Yeah, it was built by my great grandfather, and it was on the block in the middle of Harndorf, where they've made the memorial park just by the German Arms Hotel.
Yeah.
And they've made a memorial park, and was given to the oldest one of each generation. And my grandfather was the oldest one in the next generation. In 1939, they had the whole old homestead on it, and they kept it in mint condition. It was the first house in Harndorf, and the grandfather in his wisdom decided to give it to the council, and he gave the land to the council. The first thing the council did was pull the house down, and the family were pretty upset.
Oh, I bet they were.
At any rate, never had a picture of the house, and I said to Mum, what did it look like? And she drew me a picture, and I built the house from the picture. Well, my Swiss mate came along, and we went and had a look at the old gravestone where my great grandfather was buried in Harndorf, and he wrote everything down, a bit of a smart aleck, and next minute from Switzerland he sent me a picture of the house.
Oh.
We never ever knew the picture ever existed.
And it came out of Switzerland.
And it looks identical to the drawing that Mum did. So, you know, all of a sudden you think of something, when you finish it, it's there, it's in your mind to start with, and all of a sudden it's a reality, and that within yourself is hard to explain, but that's what's happened over the years. A house is coming, it's you put it there, you get the front end loader and you dig a couple of holes in the front of it, and you get the bucket full of sand, and you plant some red hot pokers that might be 8 or 9 feet high, and you bring them with the front end loader, put them in the hole and fill it with sand, and then you get a bucket load of rocks and you put it round it, and the house might have been here a week.
It looks like it's been there
and it looks like it's been there for 100 years, and that gives you a lot of satisfaction too.
You've done some good
But
landscape.
as I said to you before, Paul, is the trees are the things that really impress me. You plant a tree and all those trees are 10 to 12 years old, And look, they're 40 foot high, 50 foot high,
What are they? What sort of gums are they?
jewett gums.
Jewett.
And you've got to pinch yourself that you're in the same spot.
I know, it's wonderful.
You know, like,
Change with the trees.
so as life goes by, nothing stays the same. Everything's got to change. You know, we come back here in 100 years' time and we'll never know we're in the same spot.
Yeah.
And we're not really in the same spot.
No, because
It's a different spot.
Yeah.
And, you know, in 100 years' time, it's mind-boggling to know what this place will be.
Well, there's an old scripture that says that we grow and flourish like a flower in the field, and then the wind comes and blows over us, and not even our place remembers us. Our place remembers us no more. So, you know, even though we've built villages and built stories on YouTube, in 100 years' time, we'll be just like the dust mite.
Well, what really belongs to us that nobody can take away, and we take to our grave with us, and nobody else can share it, is time.
Time.
Yep. No. Now, in Captain Cook's time, that was his time. We can't relive it.
No.
You know, that was his time. In yours and my time, our next generation can't share it.
No.
They can share it while they're alive and we're alive, but once we die, that time belongs to them.
That's right. It's gone.
We can't have their time,
No, and they can't have ours.
and that's all we take to the grave with us.
I noticed you said something a little earlier about how quickly time flies by. A lifetime
Well,
goes so quickly, doesn't it?
yeah, that's what I said. That verse, time's the hunter, we're its prey. As we pass each hour of the day, we're not aware. Until it's too late, the thing we take for granted seals our fate. And look, you and I were kids 60 years ago.
I know, I was talking to a cousin of mine yesterday, and I remember playing with him as a boy, and now he's an old man and he's, you know, frail.
Once upon a time we used to look at 20-year-olds and lick our lips. Now we look at 70-year-olds and lick our lips. But when we were 20, a 70-year-old was way over the hill, yeah.
We didn't want to touch that.
Now I get chatted up by 70-year-old ash blondes every day and I'm cradle snatching.
Well, you're 76, you're in the end of your 80s.
How old are you, boy?
70 this year.
70. Oh, right, yeah.
My wife just turned 70, and we've been so amazed at how quickly the time's flown by.
Yeah, well,
The last 50 years gone.
it's stages. Well, you know, you look at different stages and everything's got a different feel about it, different stages of life. Once upon a time you'd look at something and you'd be interested in this, and next minute you're not interested in that anymore, you're interested in change.
Yep.